Today I'm looking into the Finals beta, an upcoming FPS game that I also played when it comes to the early alpha playtest some months ago. I will share my thoughts and experiences, which both includes the good and the bad, you might say. First off, I want to give some credit to Embark Studios for trying out something that is fairly new in the genre of FPS, although not unique. My thoughts goes to several other games I've played through the years when trying out the finals that are taking place in these quite big mirror's edge looking maps. The game mode that is available in the beta is called Cash Out, and also here it plays out a bit different than you might be used to, since there's 4 teams with 3 players in each team that are competing to locate a vault, grab the cash box, and take it to a cash out station. However, enemies can steal the box for themselves, so you gotta be aware of the environment when waiting for the cash out timer to get down to 0. Cash Out as a game mode has both some positive and negative sides as it plays at the moment. When it is at its best, you and your trio will get insanely busy since other teams will try to get your cash box as well when you've made your deposit. If you've set up your defenses well using gadgets that at least temporarily can block the enemies, the fun can begin and you will find yourself fighting in buildings that are about to fall apart due to the dynamic destruction in the game. Another scenario in Cash Out is due to the pretty slow countdown when you've actually made the deposit in the cash machine. You will have to wait quite some time and without any action taking place for a long time. Add to that a pretty long countdown to actually spawn back in the game as well, especially if your squad gets wiped out, and you'll find yourself kind of stuck in a lot of downtime moments when playing this game. Which leads me to my second thought when it comes to the game mode, which is the fact that you can basically just run through a match, grabbing these cash boxes without almost getting into any firefight at all and still win. What I'm trying to say is that there's not enough incentive to engage with other teams. So I believe that the game mode needs to reward players and teams even more that are engaging into firefights and also get kills. On the other hand, there's also a scenario where it sometimes is safer to let other teams do the work, then try to snatch the cash out with a third party right before the timer ends. This becomes more of a problem in quick play, I guess, compared to the tournament game mode, since there's like only one round, if you understand what I'm saying here. Maybe there should be like continuous points while capping, or even a large bonus for finishing the cash out. Again, the team needs to be rewarded for putting themselves in danger and engaging in fights. I've had matches where me and my random teammates had a lot of more action and firefights, and therefore, at least for me, more fun even though we lost, compared to just those we won defending the cash and therefore often had more downtime just waiting for the cash deposit timer to run out. I hope that this will be looked into, since it's most likely going to be a challenge for Embark to figure out how to deal with this situation. It's important to say that the finals is a game where it's also pretty hard to just play with randoms, which kind of limits the possibilities for some people to match up and just play the game, if that makes sense. Of course, it's always more enjoyable and fun to play with friends, but compared to some other shooters, this is one of those FPS games where you definitely will have a better experience when not only playing with random teammates. Maybe though, after some time though, more players get more used to the game and the actual game mode as well, so that less communication is needed. I also wanted to add that I'm playing and recording this gameplay on a low spec or medium spec PC at the moment, and since it seems to be pretty CPU demanding, it did take me some time to be able to get some settings that didn't ruin my experience, both when it comes to performance in the game but also visual since the game looks pretty nice running on the Unreal Engine. And hopefully further optimization will make these kind of experiences even better. The audio, however, is a bit broken at the moment in the beta, since there's like a crackling sound going on, almost as if you add a vinyl scratch in the background. I hope they're able to fix this ASAP, since it becomes pretty annoying after a few matches. The weapon and gadget balance is a bit all over the place right now, as it is. Some latency issues also added to that makes it a bit harder to use some weapons, but hopefully this is something that will get better over time. unless Embark wants some weapons or gadgets to actually be meta in the game and a bit over the top. But something that I do hope gets some overall improvement is both the actual gunplay and movement, especially in combination with each other. To start with, the gun seems to jump up a bit every time you're about to aim down sight, and that is quite obvious on some weapons, for example the AK. I'm not sure the reason why it's there, but I do hope they remove it since it's quite annoying and I don't see the purpose of it. Yes, the movement and gunplay is quite basic at the moment, and I do hope it will improve since it sometimes feels almost clunky, especially in a shooter that I feel defines itself partly as an arena movement shooter. Moving sometimes feels a bit imprecise and could definitely have a better overall flow, especially since some animations seems to stop you a bit. For example, when you're forced to slow climb or slow vault objects, or generally just jump in as if it's almost a small delay. The aiming can sometimes also feel a bit sluggish, which indicates that it needs to become more responsive. Could be due to frame pace or even mouse acceleration. I'm not sure about this yet. Yes, I know this is a beta, but I do believe that these things needs to be discussed and talked about, since it's one way at least for the developers to make some changes accordingly in the game. The finals are built upon 3-player models with customization possibilities, light, medium and heavy, and you can change weapons and gadgets to your liking depending on how you like to play. It's important also to say that there's no secondary weapon per se, meaning if you run out of bullets, you can't pull out a pistol, for example. Instead you need to reload quickly and use like a grenade to block the path of the enemy in order to recover, or pulling out some C4 instead. I'm just saying this since this will be a thing for some players. It has been an interesting experience to look into this game, and it's going to also be, of course, more interesting to see what happens later on when the game actually gets released. Will it make it? Will it be out there and become a big title? Let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Talk to you later, my friends. Have a beautiful day. Bye.